It's an unfamiliar position for Recep Tayyip Erdogan. In local elections seen as a test of his support, voters delivered the Turkish president his worst night ever at the ballot box. Though his ruling AKP led across the country overall, an economic downturn and high inflation and unemployment left Erdogan vulnerable.
I believe the only reason we couldn't get the results we wanted in some cities is that we couldn't express ourselves enough to our nation, and we failed to win their hearts.
The AKP is set to lose the capital Ankara to the main opposition CHP and possibly even Istanbul too. With a result too close to call, both groups have claimed victory in Turkey's largest city.
According to the results, we won the elections in Istanbul. I say it loud and clear. I know we won.
After voting in dozens of mayors, municipal councils and other local officials, Turks of different political leanings are processing the election results.
We're happy at last. Let's put it this way, we haven't been happy for so long. This is a victory for people who have been aggrieved. This is a victory for Kurds and democracy for us. People across the world and in Turkey have won. I'm obviously sad about Ankara. It was a surprise. I was in Ankara last week for a meeting. But I think the people of Ankara will understand their mistake and come back to the AKP.
For Erdogan and the AKP, losing control of Ankara after 25 years is a significant setback. Though this election is over, the race for Istanbul isn't. With no side ready to admit defeat there, winning Istanbul is likely to become a major battleground over the next days or even weeks ahead.
Let's go straight to Istanbul, and our correspondent Yulia Han standing by for us. Good morning, Yulia. Just how damaging are these results for Erdogan?
Well, first of all, it's really been a sleepless night for many here in Istanbul because these local elections have turned out to be much more exciting than expected. And some here already call it a historic vote. And that's because you mentioned that President Erdogan and his ruling AK party suffered a severe setback in the main cities. That's a first since they came to power 17 years ago. They lost control of the capital, Ankara, and they were not able to secure a definite result here in Istanbul. That's according to unofficial results by the state-run news agency Anadolu. We have to wait for official results, of course. But Istanbul with its 15 million people, an economic hub, is really considered to be the biggest prize in these elections. There is a saying in Turkish politics, whoever wins Istanbul wins Turkey. And as we speak, the results here for the city remain disputed, with both the AKP and the main opposition CHP claiming a victory. Actually, we have not expected such a result. The main opposition party is now saying it looks like there has been some voter data manipulation going on. So it really remains to be seen what happens today. This is definitely going to be a very interesting day.
Okay, a major upset, some accounts being contested. What have been the reactions to all of this?
Well, you know, when you talk to voters here in Istanbul, of course, it depends to who you're talking to. Supporters of the AKP claim that their candidate won the city, and opposition voters say if there was no major manipulation, the opposition won the city. But let me come back to your original question. What does this all mean for President Erdogan? Of course, he rose to power here in Istanbul as mayor of Istanbul in the 1990s. So this city is very important to him, and he has been campaigning really hard, giving several speeches every day. And considering that the media reporting, the media coverage is overwhelmingly in favor of him and his party, this really is a serious setback. The analysts we've talked to ahead of the elections told us that if the opposition really manages to win Ankara and Istanbul, this would be a political earthquake for Istanbul, for Erdogan, and a clear sign that he and his party are no longer invincible.
Okay, Yulia, a lot of people are pointing to the economy. It's suffering a lot in Turkey right now. The lira has been really hit over the past few weeks. What kind of role did these issues play in this vote?
Well, many people here say that has been one of the main issues here, the economy. Many voters told us that their personal economic situation worsened in the past year. You have to know the AKP once rose to power on a platform of economic growth and rising living standards for millions of pious, poor Turks. But now Turkey is in the midst of a recession. Inflation is at 20%. So everything from vegetables to, cooking utensils got much more expensive here. Joblessness is at a 9-year high. So this really has been an important issue for many voters. And actually, we heard President Erdogan speak yesterday, and he was unusually self-critical, saying that he would now focus on strengthening the economy by implementing a number of reforms. Of course, that remains to be seen what he's going to do next. But yes, the economy was a main issue.
Yulia Hahn for us in Istanbul, where we are still waiting for the final results in local elections in Turkey. Yulia, thanks so very much.